Hey,
Hey,
YouTube.
YouTubers.
Oh my god. Okay, guys, that's MJ. And I'm Real, Mark, whatever you want to call me. We are here with a Dragon Ball Super discussion video for you guys today. Like I say all the time, you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, you know what you're getting yourself into. But before we get into this, I want everyone to pause the video and please make sure to go down to the comment or the description section below and click that link. Go to subscribe. Go subscribe to MJ because he makes some really awesome content. Anyway, guys,
I can't get enough of that laugh, bro.
there
There it is right there. That's my candy.
Anyway, guys, so we are talking about today whether or not the whole Battle Royale concept for the Tournament of Power was a good idea. And MJ and I have differing opinions on this. And before, I guess, we talk about our opinions, I want everyone to basically go down in the comment section below and tell us your opinions too, and then come back again and I guess reply to your own reply or comment or whatever and tell us what you thought of our opinions as well. So guys, what do you think about the Tournament of Power being a battle royale for the most part? And before I let MJ talk about this, I just want to say I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all because you took something that could have been a very drawn out, very marketable story concept and basically made it into probably, I mean, not so much more of a 20 episode maybe, if you draw out the 48-minute fight as long as you possibly could, barring any kind of interruptions or anything else that other fans have speculated, give or take, at any given point coming up into this arc. And despite all this filler that we're getting, quote unquote filler from the, non-existent manga that's going to be covering this stuff, of the buildup of Goku basically going all over the place and recruiting Krillin and 18 and 17 and Piccolo and Gohan and everyone else to fight for this, I really think that we're going to be missing out a whole lot on these fighters from all these other universes and maybe personalities that we could really get to love and explore and everything. And even if, and like I say, this is a huge if, considering the terms of this particular tournament, the rules, in which case if you lose your entire universe, including the Gods of Destruction, only the angels surviving gets wiped out, then it really, if they go through with that, it really kind of limits the concept of a multi-universal multi-universal story that Super was supposed to be going into the entire series. And I just don't particularly like that concept, because if everyone's fighting at the same time, it gives us no reason to actually care about or get enough time to learn anything about these fighters or why they're fighting or anything like that, considering all of them probably are going to know the stakes of this particular tournament, everyone outside of Universe 7. And I feel like that is going to be a huge waste if for whatever reason they basically do go along with destroying all the other universes. And considering, the universe survival arc, the name of the arc, unless they're just dicking us around, they might actually end up doing it some level. So MJ, what are your thoughts on this before I do my rebuttal?
Well, if people are, I guess, used to hearing our collabs, they know that me and you are usually on the same page. Like, I think like 99.9% of the time we're on the same page. But this time, different opinions. And as Eric Bischoff said, controversy creates cash. So, with that being said,
this is not the first time you've said this in this conversation.
You don't even know who Eric Bischoff is, but all my wrestling fans probably know. But anyways, with that being said, let's go back to wrestling for a second. I'm biased. I am being biased here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm being fucking biased because I love a Royal Rumble, a Battle Royale, and we get those, once a year, and we get about twice a year in the wrestling world, in the wrestling media, the wrestling platform. We get it there. We get 30-man rumbles, we get 20-man rumbles, and it's like throw the guy over the ring. Right here it's 80-man, 48 minutes, knock him out of the stage, right? Knock him off the stage. So I'm really looking forward to see how they handle this. I get your point though, because that was actually one of my gripes with the actual Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament, was the whole Frost stuff. You remember that, bro? Batamo versus Goku started in one episode. It ended in one episode. Frost versus Goku started in that same episode, and then Frost versus Goku ended in that same episode. very it doesn't give you much time to think about the characters. It doesn't flesh out the flashbacks. It doesn't give you much time to actually help you understand the certain characters that are inside the tournament and who are fighting. It was very rushed. I didn't like that whatsoever. And the fact here that we have a 48-minute match and we have 80 man going all out, I get your point. However though, I am doing something that I don't think anyone on the face of this planet is doing. I'm trusting Toei and Toriyama. I am trusting Toei and Toriyama.
Mind blown.
Because I don't think they thought to themselves and said, fuck it. Let's just put 80 guys in here, dicks out, throw them all out the ring, and then have Jiren and Goku at the end. Kamehameha, call it a day. End of the fucking arc. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they thought that. I think, I think they overthink some shit sometimes, like with the whole Trunks arc. So I feel like they really put some thought into this. I feel like it's not going to be like Naruto or One Piece, thought out level shit, but it's going to be to a level where I think it's going to be more than what we're expecting. It's not going to be as quick as we're expecting, it's not going to be as quick as I am in the sack, It ain't going to be as quick as that. It's not going to be as long as we're expecting either. It ain't going to be a fucking 3-year arc. I know like Blick's been talking about that. If One Piece could do it, why can't Dragon Ball do it? Well, Blick, we ain't fucking getting it in Dragon Ball. But anyways, I'm rambling here. My point is, even though I get your point, Real, it's a weird thing for Dragon Ball to do. 80 man, and not only does it kind of hurt the lore of the story, I just trust them. I feel like they would not pick such an oddball way to do a tournament, because this really is an oddball way. When you look back at every single tournament we've had in Dragon Ball, they've pretty much all been the same. Even the fucking filler tournaments have been the same compared to the the original tournaments that we got in the Dragon Ball manga. They've all been either one-on-one or they've been like teams. And even the team ones consisted of one-on-one, like the Baba tournament. And then, of course, we had the Otherworld tournament. It's like every tournament consisted with just being one-on-one. So it's very weird that they chose this type of tournament. And that's why I'm saying I'm trusting them. I feel like they chose this platform and this version of a tournament for a reason, Unless I could be wrong. I mean, Toriyama could have been smoking something and watching the WWE 2017 Royal Rumble and said, "Fuck it, why not?" He's like, "Fuck it," Just send Toei with that paper that says 80 man all in one stage. Just do it, And Toei's like, all right, So I could be wrong. I'm trusting them. I feel like they chose this platform for a reason. I feel like, hell, even the top, I feel like that's for a reason too. The way that stage looks. I know people have been complaining about the way the stage looks. I feel like this is really all for a reason, bro. The whole 48-minute time limit too. I feel like that's for a reason. I don't know what that reason is. I'm trusting them. I'm going in this blind, bro, and I'm hoping they guide me. My hand's out there, and I want them to guide me. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Like, all I can say right now is I'm trusting them. I don't think you trust them, but that's you.
I mean, I don't want to say like I don't trust them. I do trust them a bit. I do trust them to give me something entertaining, because as much as I want to sit around, and as much as we all want to sit around and kind of it's what D-Free says, Donnie says this a lot, like we all just kind of forget the previous arc once it happens. It's like the people who hate on Super, whose job it is to hate Super and just make sure everyone who likes Super feels like a dick for liking Super, those guys, they want us to remember, like they point out very frequently, and D-Free makes fun of this, is like we forget every single arc as if it didn't happen. Like, we get excited for the next arc, and it's like, this is going to be, the turnaround point of Dragon Ball Super. And for the most part, like, that's what we all thought. And there's some truth to it, because that's what the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 Champa tournament was. It was going to be, okay, this is the first new part of it. It's going to be absolutely different. It's going to be fresh. And it was. But then we got the Future Trunks arc, and everyone just forgot about that tournament. Like, almost immediately, no one was talking about it. No one was even remotely interested, besides maybe like you or me talking about Hit every now and then at the same time. It's like, oh man, when are they going to bring back Hit? Like, I got a super hard on for Hit. Like, honestly. And the Future Trunks arc really kind of brought its A game for the most part. I mean, especially when you think about Super, especially Super, but even just Dragon Ball. I mean, it's like it's up there with one of the best arcs just in terms of the dark emotional character development that we got to see throughout that particular story, and just all the iconic awesome moments. I trust Super, I trust Toei and Toriyama and even Toritaro to give us some of the most iconic moments that we've ever seen in this entire series, in this tournament. There's no other reason to do this, and the only reason I would ever agree with you that this is the best idea that they could possibly done is the fact that they are basically switching up the tournament arc formula, which has been the backbone of not just Super, or like obviously Super, but all of Dragon Ball and almost all of shonen manga up until this point. Like, it is too important to let up, and we don't necessarily always get to see this stuff, and they couldn't possibly do it. And I always had worries about it. I know you did too. If you're going to have 10 people on a team, how are you going to do one-on-one fights? It's just going to take like 3 years like Blick would want. And that was a legitimate concern. And I think that is something that this whole Battle Royale situation really puts to rest. I'm just asking, and I feel like my biggest gripe here is the fact that even though it kind of smooths out the rough edges of doing something as long as they were probably, or we were expecting them to do going into this particular arc, my only problem with it is are they doing it at the cost of basically like Danny are they doing it at the cost of what Danny has said over the last couple of years, like even the last year or so, that Toriyama has introduced a decade's worth of material into Super? If they do end up destroying all these universes without being some kind of stupid like MacGuffin, or the Super Dragon Balls coming in, or some Deus Ex Machina basically coming in and saving the day at the very end of all this, or lo and behold something kind of interrupts this tournament, are they glossing over so much story potential by basically wiping out or just nullifying the strength from a shonen manga, shonen anime of all these particular fighters that we could be exploring over the course of several years? Or is this the best way to go? Personally, I feel like it's not the best way to go. I do concede that letting Universe 112, 5, and 8 go out of this, not necessarily compete, does leave the door open regardless for way more universe hopping and stuff like that. And maybe that's enough, but what was the point of introducing 12 in the first place? So those are really my particular points with this. I don't necessarily want it to... I don't necessarily want to harp on it way too much, but that's just my point. Like, I don't necessarily know if this was the right decision going into this arc.
I agree with some points. I just really respect the idea that they went out of their element and really chose this type of, I guess, platform for this tournament. Like, they really chose something unique and different and went out of their way to do it. And because it could have just been a simple tournament, it could have just been a simple one-on-one tournament, or even like a simple team tournament, you know what I mean? But they didn't do that. They went 80 man. That's why I'm trusting them. I feel like they have a reasoning for it. We don't know it yet, and I kind of like that. It's the whole I'm not going to compare it to the Black stuff, the whole Goku Black mystery, but there is like some reasoning to that, and I feel like there is a mystery behind it. Like, why did they choose this? And I can't wait till once we get to the tournament part of the Universe Survival arc, I feel like once we get there, we'll kind of get more of a grasp on it. I guess my only gripe will be, how are we going to get to know some of these characters? However, though, I'm not too sure if you know him, but my good old friend Aaron on Twitter pointed out that they could obviously do it to where some episodes focus on Universe 7's perspective of the tournament, and then Universe 6, Universe 10, Universe whatever take over the next few episodes. Like, you kind of transition from each perspective, like you kind of go from one point of view to another point of view to another point of view, and each episode kind of is just dedicated to that person, which I think would be kind of cool. And it all leads up to the final point of view of Goku versus Jiren, or whatever the main event is, whatever the last few people are, which I think that would be kind of a cool way to actually do it. That'd be real cool. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I'm just trusting Tori.
No,
but don't let me down. Don't let me down, guys. I'm trusting you guys.
I would like that, especially if they did that and if they prolonged the fight, it would allow the manga to finally catch up and even exceed if they decide to pick up the pace.
Yeah.
But personally, I just don't know. Like, I feel like it's kind of all over the place at this point. I trust them. I trust them, like I said, I trust them to give us some of the coolest things that we've ever seen in Dragon Ball. I feel like this tournament is going to be so epic. It's going to basically melt the fans' minds just in terms of fighting in general. And if we're honest with ourselves, a lot of the fan base is in it for the fighting. A lot of people really want to see awesome fights, and Super has delivered that in spades, I think, especially some of the stuff that we've seen in the last couple of arcs. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I agree. But I think you and I are just going to have to sit around and, I guess, not necessarily fully agree with each other. I mean, agree with bits and pieces of each other's points. A line item veto, if
Controversy
you will,
creates crash, man.
a line item veto, if you will, for anyone who's in con law right now. But no, guys, please make sure to go into the comment section below and tell us what you think about this. Do y'all agree with me? Do you agree with MJ? Like I always said, please make sure to go check out MJ. Make some really awesome daily content for you guys. I mean, seriously, this guy works so incredibly hard to give you guys some awesome content. Harder than me, harder than a lot of other people that work in the YouTube community right now, especially for anime. So please make sure to go support him. And we're going to catch you on the next video. Bye.